And welcome back to Belligerence and Benevolence, our little try to do Tolstoy with Good Society. And we've got our cast back this week. They're all awesome. Let's start with my longtime collaborator and partner in crime, Serafina, who is playing Count, what are you, Andrei, right? Count Andrei Vasilev.
Andrei Fyodorovich Vasilev.
Yes.
True to type, I will be being a little extra tonight and doing needlepoint during our 19th century game. Um, I'm Serafina. I play Count Andrei Fyodorovich Vasilev, who is just basically like a very gentle soul, as far as I can tell at this point. I don't know him that well yet, but he is definitely an artistic and sort of foppish type, whose tendencies lean more towards men, but is, of course, being urged to marry and continue the family line.
Seriously, just, get married. And
Yeah.
I say that we're going to have an extra fight.
Mine has points.
Mine has flowers. Next is it's someone I'm very happy to have at the table this time, Richard, who plays Count Boris Ivanovich Fedorov.
Hello, I am Richard. I'm playing Count Boris, of the Fedorov family, who's here with my sister, Countess Vasilisa, and I am the hedonist, and I am someone who has sort of used hedonism to deflect social expectations from my family, so that once my sister gets married, I can return to university and an academic life that will let me indulge the low-cost pleasures of the flesh that I prefer in ways that have minimal impact on the world outside, which is what every 21-year-old wants.
How very modern in a 19th century way.
Mm-hmm.
Next, why don't we go to your sister, Countess Vasilisa Ivanova Fedorova, who is played by Darold.
Yes, so Vasilisa is the older sister of Boris, and she's a stern, no-nonsense beauty. Since the death of our parents, I've been the one to basically tirelessly devote myself to the family. And while I really want a simpler life where I can just live happily and find love, I know that I can't do that because I have to be the steward of the Fedorovs and make sure that we continue our family's fine name. And a part of that means that I am constantly holding my brother Boris to a much higher standard than he would like. So that is a thing. I've also got a relationship with our uncle Valentin and our cousin Rosalina. I also want to hold Rosalina to higher standards than she is letting herself get around with. So that's a thing as well. I have kind of a fondness for the Count Andrei, but it's also kind of a dismissiveness as well, because I think he's far too irresponsible for someone who should be doing more with his life. And then I also have my dear friend Svetlana, who fights with my brother like cats and dogs.
Yeah, but it's all good. Why don't we go to Princess Svetlana Petrovna Mozarova, who's played by Leandro.
Hi, yeah. So Svetlana, Sveta to her friends. She, what do I have written down here? Oh, I have written down here that she probably sucks because she is a meddler. She's kind of a terrible person who came from a family of ill repute. The Morozovs have kind of a history of thinking too highly of themselves and kind of trying to push people around into those positions, and it varies depending on how deceptive or scheming the patriarch or the matriarch of the Morozovs are, depending on the day and the generation. So Svetlana kind of has this idea that she's she's the best at improving other people's lives. Maybe kind of to her benefit, but maybe to the benefit of those people, but mainly kind of to to herself. Um, she's quite acid tongued and kind of bitter. She has an ongoing rivalry with Boris. She thinks very highly of her dear Vasya, maybe too highly, and is very concerned about her prospects, maybe too concerned even. Um, and at the moment in the story, I think maybe she's just playing around a bit too much, and things are about to catch up to her in a way.
Well, I mean, that would be awesome. And I'm Kat, and I'm facilitating, and I'm also playing Prince Nikolai Andreevich Volokov, who is the patron of Andrei. Andrei's father was his adjutant and died in some war of empire, and since then Nikolai has been looking after him and wants him to have an honorable career in the military and marry a girl who will bring him honor and wealth and a stable home life. And Andrei wants none of these things, but that's fine. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine because Napoleon is up to no good in Europe, and we're going to have to stomp on him. So cool. Hey, we have safety tools. Everybody here knows how the X card works, which is good because I'm going to tell you anyway. The X card is a way that we can approach content that might be problematic without actually getting to it. You can use it for anything that you don't want in the game, including content. You could just say, nah, I don't want a ball here. That's fine. We won't ask why. We'll just stop. Given that this is an online game, you can say X card. You could do that and hope somebody will notice it. You could type it into the screen. Just some way that we'll know, and we'll stop and rewind and find another way. I also like to use lines and veils. We didn't really have a formal discussion on that. I'm assuming that we're going to veil anything graphically sexually. If there's any lines and veils folks want right now, we can drop those in.
I usually have a line for any sort of like coercive sex for sure, and I'm sticking animal abuse on there too, just because it makes me sad.
I think child abuse is line for me as well.
Yeah.
Mine is the same coercive sex, so.
Cool. I'm putting those on the data tab on your character keeper, and once again, my cat has decided that since he has a Russian blue, he gets to sit in front of the screen. Shadow.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Cool. So, Good Society is a game that is played in a variety of phases that compose a cycle. We got almost all the way through a cycle last week, which is pretty good because we also had to do care gen. So I'm very impressed. When we left off, we had just finished calculating our relationship tags, and because of that, we discovered that poor Sveta has a negative reputation condition now. So your reputation conditions are listed on your playbook. So which one of those are you going to choose, Sveta?
Ooh. Oh, I can't have a protege right now. I have to go the other way.
Yep. Sorry.
I think it has to be mind your own business because she has not been minding her own business. In fact, she's been blatantly not minding her own business. So it says here, mind your own business. Others distrust you and refuse to participate in your schemes and plans. Oh dear. That sounds about right.
That seems more than deserved. So the way this will work is we'll have a short scene where you can describe how this comes into play for the first time, like how we know that this is now in play for you.
Oh.
And I think you could just do narration if you want. I don't think you're required to have like a full scene, but if you want to have a conversation with somebody, you can also do that.
Keep it narration. Just kind kind of get keep things moving. I think because most of this is a fallout from at the house of the Fedorovs. I think maybe it's like because the primary witnesses were there, probably the three who were there, and also whoever else was in the house, like let's see, like wait, we established that Rosalina was there, right? I think it's very much a case of like maybe if we montage this, like after that whole conversation with Boris, it's like whenever like Sveta tries to like engage like other people by themselves, if it's not like pleasantries, it's almost like people kind of shoving away. And even Rosalina's doing it. Rosalina, who's a philandering cousin of who of ill repute as well, even she's kind of snubbing Svetlana. And it's very obvious. And I don't know if the other principals are gonna carry that to the rest of Russian society, but I think it's one that's kind of comes up that another Morozov is stepping outside our boundaries again.
Poor Sveta, but you did have it coming. So this will last until you have fewer than 3 negative reputation tags. Remember that people can spend your reputation tags against you as if they were a token. So that's a way that can happen. I think theoretically you can spend it against yourself if you wish. That's cool. Of course, remember that even if that does happen, it's quite possible that you will pick up a new third reputation tag as in the course of events when we hit the reputation phase. So there may be no escape. It's just a complete downward spiral. So cool. Good. So we're done with reputation phase. So now, as a nice way to catch us all up, we can go to epistolary phase. And everybody has a chance to write up to 2 letters. So is anyone burning to write a letter to someone? Because if not, I got one.
Do it.
Cool. So this is from Prince Nikolai. My most gracious sovereign, I praise God that you and the Tsarina are well and continue to find the wisdom to lead us in this time of great strife. In such times, any man of blood and honor must of course accept his duty, especially when it is given to him by him who God has put above us all. I of course accept with great pleasure your request that I assume command of the Semyonovsky Guards Regiment. I shall join it immediately and head for the front, where, with God's grace, we shall finally put an end to the menace of Napoleon Bonaparte and his so-called empire. I hope that God grants to you and the Tsarina long life and many children. Yours respectfully, Prince Nikolai Andreevich Volokov, General.
Oh shit. Ooh. So I think I have a letter to write. And mine is to Boris. And it reads, Dearest Boria, I write with great affection to let you know of my intention to join my uncle at the front. As he says, at times like these, it is impossible for any man of honor to not move forward and defend his country. I did not think that this would be the way that things would end, and I welcome you to join me, as we had so often discussed, in this grand crusade against Napoleon. Yours affectionately, Andrei.
Yeah, Andrei, Boris responds. And I think it's a fairly simple response that comes by courier moments after he receives it.
Mhm.
And it's essentially a deflection. It's the your uncle's camp seems like it will be dull and lifeless, and I would not leave you to that. My dearest friend, please count on me joining you. Yours, Fedorov.
Great. Yes.
So I think I have a letter that I'd like
Yeah.
to write. My dearest Dominika, my old school friend, I know it has been too long since I have written you, but I wish to extend you a warm invitation to my country estate. I would like to say that this is purely because I have missed you and because I would long for your company, but I admit I have an ulterior motive. My dear Boya has told me that he is going to enlist in the army. And to be honest, this fills me with such dread and fear. Oh, Dominika, I remember how convincingly you always used to make our school teachers believe anything that you needed them to. You have always been someone who has just the right words, and I beg of you to come here now and help me convince Boria not to go to the front line. It is terribly important to me that I find some way to keep him safe. As you know, I've already lost my mother and father, and you heard about the recent speculation with Rosalina. I just couldn't bear it to lose someone I care about again, and then also to be left alone with no one to comfort me. I hope that you can visit soon, within the next week or so, before the Boya leaves. With all of my love and swiftest wishes, yours, Vasya.
I have
I think
I
I
have
have
a
a
second
hold
letter.
on.
Oh, no,
sorry.
go ahead. No, you go first.
Okay, I think Svetlana, I think after the whole thing at the state, is gonna write a letter to Vasya. She probably doesn't know that Vasya thinks no one else is gonna comfort her and when Boris is gone. I think so. The letter's like, dearest Vasya, I would very much like to apologize for my behavior at your home, even though this long-running affair between myself, feud. Actually, no, that's more like the word. Feud with
Just don't
Boris.
interject extra scandal.
No, if she wanted to, she would do that, but not to Vasya. I know you have been witness to this long-running feud between myself and Boris, but I do believe after the events of when I last saw you, it has simply run its course. I know that war is upon Russia soon, and if Boris did possess the spine that you so believe he possess, he will enlist and join and leave you to fend for yourself. But please rest assured that whatever happens, should Boris leave or go, you have my undivided support. I wouldn't want to ask anything of you, only that you remember me as a friend. Yours, Sveta.
Yeah, I have a second letter, which is to Vasilisa. And it starts very formally. to her. What's the honorific for a countess? It's not your grace. It's your.
I
It's
think
honorable.
it
Honor?
depends.
Yeah.
I think you could just call her Countess.
Yeah. To the Honorable Countess Vasilisa Ivanova Fedorova, I hope that this letter finds you in good health. I apologize before even beginning for not asking permission to write you, but my time is very brief. I want to let you know that I am headed to war and would like permission to, when the occasion strikes me, write you from the front and advise you as to my success and failures in the endeavor of this war. I have asked Boria to join me, and also would like to convey to you my sympathies in having to part with your dearest brother. I would give my life to protect him, and I hope that you count me in dearest faith. Yours truly ever after, Count Andrei Fedorovich Vasilev.
She has a response.
Like that.
It opens very curtly. It's Count Vasilev. I appreciate your candor and wish that you know I shall have your letters, and it shall be for the express purpose of conferring to me the knowledge that my dear brother is still safe. After all, it is because of you that he has put himself in such a dangerous position. And though I know that the ravages of war must be terrifying for any man, a part of me cannot forgive you for taking my brother from me and putting him in such jeopardy. So while I shall entertain your letters and while I shall respond in kind, please know that a part of me loathes what you have done to my family. Please go with God, and may he grant you safety. I shall continue to pray for you as I pray for Boria and for all of those at the front line. Safely yours, Vasya.
I have a letter. Dearest Svetlana Petrovna, I am writing you not because we are dear to each other or because we are friends, but because we have one person who is dear, incredibly dear, to us both. I beg you, I implore you, please, because you are the only one who can give worthwhile advice that she will listen to. Her other friends are fools. You are decidedly not. And in matters of the heart, all of us need advice from friends who are not fools. When you advise my sister while we are away, please do not let your decisions be influenced by our rivalry. I will not ask you to commend anyone to her, but please do not draw her in to another terrible match, such as that idiot Lieutenant Count. I am trusting her safety to you, Princess, yours in the service of the Empire.
Ooh, I got a letter from Count Vladimir Smirov. My dear Countess, my dear Countess Vasilisa Ivanova, I deeply regret my part in the encounter with with your friend Andrei, and I deeply regret any of my actions that may have caused you any shame or regret. If I may be permitted, I would still wish to have the honor of being able to write to you from the front, as it would cheer a poor soldier here far from home. I have had the honor and pleasure of making the acquaintance of your brother, Boris. I have taken him under my wing and shown him how to live among the army. I shall do everything I can to make sure that he survives this. He is in good hands, you may be rest assured, my dearest Countess. I hope that with God's grace I will return once again to see you. Yours affectionately, Count Vladimir Vladimirovich Smirnov.
He's the one thing that I would actually write him back about. I was gonna return to sender that thing, and then it's like, oh, here's your brother. And I was like, what?
Trying to think. It's just question of not historical accuracy, but like, what sort of nobility went to the war in Russia?
All of them.
Okay.
The officer corps was heavily composed of the aristocracy.
All right, cool. So I think I'm gonna write to someone who's off to war soon. I'm going to write to dearest Papa. I think there it goes. Svetlana's father, Prince Victor Victor Morozov. I might change that patronymic later. It's hard to pronounce for some reason. Yeah. So letter is, dearest Papa, I know you've counseled me on so many occasions to not let emotion or weakness dictate my actions. Sometimes you've even counseled me to not show weakness at all, to firm oneself up as cold and unforgiving as the winter. But I feel that between family we can express some ambivalence. And I tell you now, dear father, I feel ambivalent and anxious about certain people. And I know you'll be busy advising our dearest Tsar Alexander in the advising, yeah, right, in the hostilities to come. But I would not mind a small favor, just for myself. Would it not be outside your remit to keep an eye out on a certain Count Andrei Fyodorovich Vasilev? Not to his health, no, merely to his standing in this war and how he fares. He is someone who has become of interest, and I would very much like to have knowledge of how he does, if he even survives. If he doesn't, well, then that's all I need to know. Sincerely yours, well, your dearest daughter, and so on and so forth.
That is cold. Oh my God, Sveta, you're stone cold. Anybody else got a letter?
I think it's just 2 each, right?
Yeah.
I think that, did everybody do 2?
I'm not sure. Did Richard do two? Oh yeah,
We
he
had-
did. Yep.
I did a response, yeah. So
Right. Okay. Do you have another idea or? Okay, cool. We're finally to the upkeep phase and we'll have finished the first cycle. You should all feel very proud of yourselves. So, like I said, we should have done the inner conflict now. So we can take that as not established completely if you want to tinker with that. We got a bunch of other things to do. Okay, hold on. First, I'm going to zap this up. Dunk. And we should remember to spend our monologue tokens. So most of us have not spent our monologue tokens. So now anybody that's got an unspent monologue token, you got to spend them. So to refresh people's memory, you can spend a monologue token to ask a character to reveal their inner thoughts in a monologue. You can suggest a subject, or you can just let them spin out their thoughts however you want. So the only one who has monologued is Boria. So everybody else is going to have to monologue. So who wants to step up first?
I guess I have a question about that because,
Sure.
so Sveta used her monologue token to force Boris to monologue, if I recall correctly. So does that mean that like Boris can use his monologue token to do another monologue, or can he force someone else to do it?
No, you can only use it on someone else.
Ah, okay.
So cool.
I guess I would like to know. I'd like to spend mine on Nikolai. Because I want to know if there is any truth to the rumor that you are trying to improve the standing of the family by sending all of your male relatives to war. Like, I want to know what your actual feelings are. Are you like a true nationalist, or are you like faking it?
Okay, cool. I think we see it's like a dreary leapfall landscape as troops are marching across the great flat plains of Eastern Europe. And Nikolai is sitting in a carriage and he's thinking to himself, when I was young, all I wanted was the rank to be able to ride in a carriage like a great general. And now all I can think of is that I am too old to mount a horse for as long enough to ride at the head of my troops. And he looks up ahead and sees Andrei riding, probably next to Boris, and thinks, this war can make a brilliant career for you, even though it is not what you are suited to do. And perhaps I am wrong about the best way for you to win honor. And if it were not for this war, I would gladly let you find some better place to serve our country in the diplomats corps, and perhaps all war has done is made my mistakes monstrosities and my failures tragedies. But the war has come to us and we have no choice but to live up to our family honor. I wish that it was not true, Andrei. I wish that I could go back to Petersburg and seek Tish. But we must obey our duty.
I love him.
I'll go ahead and spend my token on Andre. I'd love to know specifically what he thought after he got Vasya's very curt, very damning letter.
Yeah, I think he received the letter from whoever the mail person is that morning, but didn't have time to read it. He like tucked it away and kept it all day, and then like late at night in his tent by candlelight, he pulled it out to read. And after he got done reading it, he's all disheveled and sweaty from the day. He flung himself back on his bed and laid there and said to himself, I have only ever tried to do right by the people around me, and now the only girl I've ever felt any affection for, I fear will leave me if something happens to her brother. Maybe she already has. I don't know why I try so hard. I wish that I could just love someone like Boris. It's easier for me anyway, but I don't understand how women's minds work. I thought at least she had some affection for me. Maybe if I bring him back alive, she'll forgive me one day. But goodness, it doesn't seem like it. Or maybe I'll just die out here. She'll never have to worry about it again. I'm not really sure what the better ending is. And then he sits up, folds the letter up very gently, and it kind of smells like your perfume. He touches it to his face and then puts it aside on his little end table and blows the candle out and rolls over.
I would like to spend mine on Sveta. As people leave and Moscow becomes largely uninhabited or only half inhabited, and the streets begin to feel empty, why do you really think while you're going to see my sister?
Sorry, broke up there again. What's the last thing you said? What is the actual question?
What do you really think when you actually go to see my sister?
Think so. Yeah, I think this probably isn't realistic, but I do much imagine Svetlana wandering these streets as kind of Moscow empties out, and I think after she just sent off the letter. I've seen it off to her father, the one you missed, Richard, a very cold letter about Andrei, and I think Svetlana's thinking because this is the first time she interacted with her father. It's all my life has been cold. It's very much like these streets, cold, empty, and lacking. Whether we've brought this upon ourselves, whether this has been done to us, doesn't change that fact that we don't have anything. Only luck and maybe some careful pushing could have changed that. And by luck, I got to meet this girl named Vasilisa, who had the weight of the world upon her shoulders, who could have buckled, who could have become cold. But she's not. She laughs, she smiles, and she thinks better of everyone around her when she probably shouldn't. There's a radiance coming out of Vasya, and it's a radiance I don't have. I'll never have. Closest thing I'll have to it is being near her and making sure that radiance shines, no matter what it takes. Yeah.
So I guess it falls to me to ask Vasilisa something. I think I just want to know what she's thinking as she sits at home alone in a cold Moscow as the snow blows one early fall evening.
So it is in the evening. The candles are glowing through the windows, but She's actually sitting outside in the courtyard, looking at the frozen over fountain. She sighs. She just kind of talks to herself. Because this is the thing that she does. She, like, when no one's around, she just talks to herself as like a, like almost, because it's better to hear a voice than it is to just be sitting in silence. And she sighs and she says, "Oh, Mama, Papa, I just don't know what to do. Everything that I try to do right by you and do right by Boria, it all seems to be for naught. Uncle Valentine is off at the war, and Rosalina continues to headstrongly and defiantly do whatever she wants, and at no thought to the family name. Mama, I didn't know that this burden would be so heavy. I didn't know that how much you carried with you. I miss you so much, and I wish that you were here to talk to provide me with the relief that you always did. I would give anything to have your advice right now. Boria is off at war. He may never come back, and it's all that Count Andrei's fault. I just wish there was some way I could safeguard him, guarantee his safe passage back to here, back to me. I want nothing more than for him to settle down with a nice girl and carry on our family name. If he did that, then maybe I could let go. Just a little bit of everything that I'm holding on to so tightly. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. The priest says it's in heaven, and I hope he's right. Though I will never say that secretly I wonder if he's just lying to make me feel better. It's cold, so I'm going in now. I miss you. And she gets up and she goes back inside.
Wow. I feel sad. Cool. So we got a couple more things to do. First, everybody should just reset these. I'll do that for you. Second, if everybody's okay with their inner conflict, that's cool. And we have a couple new connections that we need to get some folks to play, I think. So we have Nikita Petrova, who is Andrei's ardent pursuer and apparently a somewhat gender nonconforming young lady with copious charms, is the description I see here. We have Princess Dominika Prostakova, who is a old school friend of Vasilisa. Yep. A cunning and strong-willed young woman who plays the part of perfect friend and daughter. We have Prince Viktor Alexandrovich Morozov, the head of the Morozov family, a calculating snake. And finally, Princess Yekaterina Katish Mikhailovna Kuznetsova, a lady-in-waiting to the Dowager Empress and Nikolai's very long-time mistress.
Oh, I call her.
Done.
I really want Nikita.
Yes.
Then that'll be you with your school friend, Dominika.
So I guess, Richard, are you up to play a complete and calculating snake?
Always.
You know, you're supposed to look a little surprised. Cool. I have refreshed my 3 facilitator tokens back up to 3. You may wonder, hey, I've got no resolve tokens. Yes, that's terrible. That is very terrible. You don't get none until the next. So the way that you regenerate tokens in a game of this long is when you do your inner conflict thing. Every box you'll check off on that inner conflict thing gets your resolve token up to 2. So you may need to be a little creative about how you're going to pay for things that would require a resolve token if you ain't got none. One is, of course, to spend your reputation tags. One is to maybe look for a way to get a connection to do it. One is I might step in and use one of my facilitator tokens because it's a cool idea. And the other, of course, is that the folks with all the resolve tokens can now move us around the board like we were little chess pieces. And when you use a token against someone, you of course get to pay them that token. So that is how Andrei and Vasilisa ended up with so many, while the more cunning and calculating folks spent all theirs in the last round. Okay. Cool. And we are back to the novel phase. So to refresh everyone's memory, we can have 3 different kinds of novel phases. We can have an event, which will have a large number of the characters in one place. You can have a split chapter where several things are going on at once, possibly with different groups of people. And then there's the visitation chapter, which are short little visits characters may pay to each other. Event chapter can easily work here. I mean, we've got battles, we've got, musters, we've got impromptu balls on the Austrian frontier. We could also have people getting together back in Moscow to commiserate over the loss of all their fiancés, relatives, and assorted other loved ones. That seems to me one way to go. The other would seem to be the split chapter. I'm not really sure visitation is the way to go here, but on the other hand, people could pitch me a super cool idea. So what people have some thoughts on that?
I think with everybody at war, the split chapter makes the most sense.
That seems, yeah.
Maybe like an event chapter next would be good because it'll be maybe people coming back or like some sort of tumultuous battle or something. But
yeah, it could be the Battle of Austerlitz.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens. A lot of people die. It's pretty awful. Cool. All right, so Split will have some scenes potentially going on simultaneously. So if people have an idea for a scene, let's step in. Otherwise, we can kind of come up with something.
I definitely want to have some stuff happen with Boris and Andrei while they're away, and like some connecting between me and my uncle. But I'm not exactly sure how I want to frame those. I'm like open to ideas.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole notion was that we were supposed to be sort of command camp.
Yeah.
So we could be in an illicit camp tavern.
Yeah, or illicit.
Illicit in the sense that just somebody set up a tent and started serving drinks.
That would probably work for you and Andrei, yeah, for sure.
And your uncle might not be cheerful about this.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of maybe you and Andrei in that scene, and then I'll have a scene with Andrei a little later. Does that work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I think what we'll try and intercut these. So we'll do a scene with the guys at war, and then maybe we'll cut back to Moscow or Petersburg.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
So you're at a sutler's tent, drinking German beer, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Boris arrives and Andrei is already like firmly in his cups.
And I think I reach over Thin Man style and just like, how many have you had?
I've had 5.
Oh. I have a lot of catching up to do then, don't I?
It depends on whether or not you think this is a race that you can win.
Well, there's no point in not running the race and doing your best.
Your sister hates me.
Oh, that race, yes. And I wave and I'm just like, and then I point, and I think I give the code word for water.
Your sister definitely hates me. She decided that she hates me. And it's hard because I don't know how to fix it.
Well, why do you think she hates you?
Because you're here.
Oh, good God. She's not that foolish, is she?
Oh, yes. I don't think that's mean.
Oh,
Your sister isn't a foolish woman. She's a gentle woman.
she's...
She doesn't understand duty and honor.
She doesn't understand me. She understands duty exceptionally well. She understands honor better than anyone in this camp.
Then why doesn't she understand why you're here?
Because she understands family better than anyone in Moscow. But she does not understand why I don't want any of those things.
Why don't
Can't really tell her.
Why don't you want any of those things? Is it for the same reason I don't?
Well, I mean, you sort of always have wanted some of those things.
I would like to be married and to live in a beautiful estate and to never see a battlefield ever again. And I would like to be able to marry whoever I want. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Well, I'd like you to marry whomever you want as well. I would like to not have to worry about such things. There's a lot of talk of marrying, but it's never seemed the thing for me.
No. You're a the word. Lone wolf.
Well, I hate to say lone. That seems so extreme.
No, you hunt in the outskirts, and then you join people for companionship and joy, and then you go back.
That could work, yes. It's an apt description.
I am apt.
I'm sorry she said that to you.
She hates me. It's fine. It's fine. I'll find another woman to marry. It will be horrible anyway. And I will make an heir, and everyone will clap me on the back and say lewd things.
Do you think that my sister would have been terrible? Because then we have to have a duel of honor.
No,
It seems very dull.
no, she would have been lovely. She's very gentle and affectionate and kind. Most women just want my money or my money. And I think that before she hated me, she liked me well enough that she would have been happy.
My sister does not need money.
No. But
It's
I also
very
think even if she did, she wouldn't marry me just for my money.
Oh no. Definitely not.
Is this water?
I have no idea what they serve in here.
Tastes like water.
Well, do the last few taste like water?
No.
You might be drunk.
Very drunk.
Cheers to being drunk and to my sister.
Cheers, sister. And to being drunk. And to doing what we like.
What do you do when you love someone, but you'll never make them happy?
Try your hardest
To make them happy?
to love them the best you can. Are you talking about your sister?
Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we're talking about my sister.
Okay. No, I think what you do is you explain that you'll never make them happy and hope they go away.
We're talking about my sister. If she went away, who would talk to me?
Me, I'll talk to you.
Well, Sveta would still talk to me, but that's...
Sveta just yells at you.
Well, sometimes she talks in that very understated way that implies...
Talks is sort of like a snake talks. Very like
She's very angry. And she
Just-
doesn't want anyone to know that she wants them to be heard.
just very mad all the time.
Stage whispering like a professional actor
That's how she talks.
in a pantomime.
No, listen, your sister will be happy as long as you're well.
Are you
Unless it's
sure?
one.
Well, the problem is how she defines being well.
It's true.
Getting married. Marriage isn't well.
Marry somebody you like and stick her in a country estate and don't see her often.
Oh, good God, that's what my father did to my mother. She was miserable her entire life.
Find one that has a hobby.
Mother had a few hobbies. None of them were easy to do from a country estate.
Find one that already has a lover.
Oh, well. See, that's cunning,
I'm very cunning.
especially when you drink.
I'm more cunning when I drink. I won't remember this, though.
You look very dashing on that horse. Did I mention that?
I'm a dashing fellow. Have you seen my uniform?
Well, I have not seen your uniform because you've disassembled most of it.
I left some of it back there.
Yes, yes. Drinking does make you warm.
Drinking makes me strip.
Well, we're in a camp full of men and
Mind.
camp followers and those women over there.
Several of them have offered to do very lewd things.
That is frequently happens in military camps, from what I've read.
I think we'd have to see Vladimir walking in the background with two of them on his arms.
My uncle has very loose ideas of fidelity. He's a mistress, you know.
He does?
Very stately woman. You could ride her to sea. She has a prow.
Your uncle Nikolai has a mistress?
He does. She's lovely. She's a delightful woman. I like her a great deal.
My father never took a mistress. That would have been too respectable.
Everybody should have one. You put them in an apartment, you visit them, and you have a great time.
It would have been far too respectable for him.
I will probably have a mistress. Although it will...
You don't tell your brother-in-law these things.
She's never going to marry me. I'd be better off marrying you anyway.
Well, I'm always going to be a university person, an academic. Probably teaching and living in some sort of faculty dormitory.
Yes.
Having toured affairs.
Sounds lovely.
Drinking myself to death by 40.
No. Who
Really?
will I talk to?
Well, you talk to your spouse, not your mistress. Remember, I still have fantasies that you're going to marry my sister.
I will talk to both of them. And he will be understanding, and she will stop hating me.
Okay.
Gloria, I have to go to bed.
Let me take you.
Before I go to bed there.
Let's go on a little walk.
Oh, that'll be an adventure.
Well, assuming we get rid of your rival.
I tried to stand up several times. It did not go well. I wish you the best of luck, sir. Captain me.
No. Put your arm around my neck.
It's like dancing. It shouldn't be, probably. It should be like walking.
Well, not out here. I give you one of the 5 shot glasses of vodka they brought over, and then I slowly down the other 3 that I hadn't touched yet.
Great. Yeah, give him more alcohol. It's a great idea.
Oh dear God.
And we don't,
Well, that
we don't
seems-
waste it.
So, should we cut to Sveta and Vasilisa, whose ears must be burning now?
They are on fire. I'm also sneezing up a storm.
Yeah.
Multiple superstitious signals are going off.
So did I follow correctly that you and Sveta are like staying together in Moscow or just near each other or something?
I assume because you have houses in Moscow as well, right?
Yeah.
Or
I have
are you-
one- Oh, God.
Or did you go to Petersburg for the winter? Because that's also a thing.
We always do the thing, so
That's true.
Whatever this thing is, we always do that.
We definitely agreed that St. Petersburg is just so much better.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah, so I think this wouldn't be... Well, actually, no. I think Morozovs would have a house there. They're about to lose their house in Moscow. But the thing is, this is more like as a gesture of like, no, I stay over at your place too much. Stay at our place. It's nice. It's modest. It's really cold for some reason. You could never really figure that out. There's a shitload of candles. About not as many servants as you think. Probably. It's a bit it's Svetlana's kind of like not gonna say it, but you probably notice it's not as good as where you all live.
and I never hold that against her.
Do we maybe want to get some of the connections in here, like Rosalina
Rosalina would be good.
and maybe Maria? Maybe oh no, Prince Victor.
Oh, God.
But the thing is, with my letter, I presume he was off to war.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Of advising the Tsar himself.
Rosalina definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys know the Akramovas or Princess Kuznetsova, but you could. I don't know. Maybe Sveta does. Maybe Sveta's family does know them.
I mean, If anybody was going to know Elaine, it was probably Rosalina to begin with, but
All right, but that is your character.
I cannot play her right
Yeah,
now,
that's
so-
fair. That's okay. Yeah, I think definitely we could get Rosalina in there. We haven't really seen her yet, so I'm kind of interested to see that. So yeah, the
Well,
three
it
girls.
makes sense to have Maria in there if you can. If 4 is not too many.
Oh yeah, Maria could be there. Yeah, sure. In Moscow for the season, sure.
Okay, would it be
What
okay?
season there is.
Petersburg for the season, rather.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I call for a break now? Because I actually do need to go to the toilet.
Oh
If
yeah,
that's okay.
gosh, it's break time anyway. Yeah, so let's do a break and come back and see the Knitting Society in Petersburg, and come back in about 5 minutes.
So I want to just give my star now. And like, here you go. Here's all the stars for that scene. That was amazing.
Oh, thanks. That was delightful.
It's like the Thin
You just-
Man, but sort of sad.
You what?
It was like the opening scene of the Thin Man, but sort of sad,
Yeah.
but with extra context. I fell in love with Myrna Loy during the first time I watched that scene.
Yeah.
Everybody falls in love with Myrna Loy. She's very
Usually
lovely.
just on that scene, that whole how many martinis have you had? 5. Like, bartender, I need 5 martinis. Line them right up.
Just right here.
I have to catch up with him.
Okay, so Petersburg in the early winter. Got a bunch of ladies getting together. Actually, I was thinking about this. This could be a salon.
Oh, it could be.
That was a thing. It was a 19th century thing. And you're all charming and eligible ladies, so you're undoubtedly like playing the piano and
Yeah.
singing and, you know, being all witty and charming.
Yep.
So we should probably have some dude here. But maybe
Is there a dude available?
Yeah. Have they all gone to war?
They've really all gone to war.
Jesus.
So that's all right. That's cool. We do have people with slots open, so we could. Oh hey, what's this? Who created? Oh wow, this is cool.
Yeah, sorry, I added 1. So
Actually, Count Valentin could be there, but we've got Leandro playing Sveta, so I mean, theoretically, I can step in and play any connection
Right.
that if you want to have them there. So
I mean, it also might. Would it make sense to have a salon in which is about impressing people's mothers, since they're supposed to be all off to war, or at least not presenting themselves to society if they're not off to war?
that a ladies' salon, but without men, how could they talk about politics?
Yes, that's right. We want
That is what, you know, people's mothers are there to make sure that no one. I don't set my son up with anyone who will talk about politics.
Yes, you think I'm joking.
No. I know you're not.
I know. Cool. So yeah, maybe there's a salon. Maybe there's some, you know, courtiers and that sort of thing. So we can have that in the background. But the 3 of you are together in the middle of all this. Maybe you finish singing or doing your piano playing or recuperating. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see this thing.
Rosalina, I don't understand why you have to be so stubborn about this. You have a lovely singing voice, and I think that you should perform.
I don't think there's a point in performing since there are no men here.
Men, it's always men with you. This is how those rumors started.
Well, listen, it is not my fault that people like to start vicious rumors about their betters.
Well, at least it was only a rumor.
Of course it was only a rumor. I don't understand how anyone even believed it for a moment.
Oh, you don't?
I may be slightly indiscreet, but I'm not a slut.
Slight is a word I would not have used for that.
How is your beau?
What beau? Oh, do you mean the Count? Because I don't necessarily consider it a courtship when he's merely out there to give me updates about my brother, which he lured into a dangerous situation.
He didn't lure Boris. You know that the best way for Boris to make a name for himself and gain a beautiful wife is to go to war, gain honor, a couple of scars, a
Yes,
medal or two.
He didn't want to go to war until Andrei talked him into it.
Sveta, would you back me up on this?
Sveta is kind of like staring. She's watching like someone probably singing or something, and she's barely paying attention. And she's like, "Well, look, Boris is meant to be the head of the next head of the family, right? Surely it's his prerogative to earn some glory out there, garnish your name."
Exactly, and that's Sveta saying that.
He could have taken a wife first. I would have felt much more comfortable if there had been some sort of, bond. If he dies without having taken a wife, then what does that mean? The Fedorovs on my line die because as soon as I take a husband, I have to take their name.
Well, he didn't exactly have the time, and who would he have married?
I have invited my friend Dominika from school to come and meet him. She's a lovely girl. She's very sharp.
Sharp,
And you
but
think-
slow on a horse.
You think Dominika is interested in Boris?
Dominika has been looking for a husband for a while, but she's so picky that I think that Boris is just what she might be looking for.
So you mean to counteract acid with more acid?
I think that Dominika would benefit from a man who can keep up with her.
Or make a terribly toxic combination?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, Sveta.
What do you mean, Sveta?
Oh, no. We don't need to rehash old history, do we?
She's talking about that horribly indiscreet moment they had at the country home. You were upstairs resting, so maybe you didn't know, but they had apparently a very heated conversation.
Ooh. Tell.
Like I said, I have no reason to rehash history. Boris makes perfectly mediocre coffee, and that's all I'm going to say.
Sveta, are you sure that the reason you are so cruel to Boris isn't because you like him and you're trying to drive him away?
That is the stuff of tawdry novellas, dear Rosalina. That's a horrible cliche. Rest assured that my history, Boris, is perfectly antagonistic.
Say that a few hundred more times and I might believe you.
Oh, Rosalina, you're being such a card. Please stop teasing her.
Listen, I'm just saying that if I fought with a man in public the way that you fight with Boris, people would be fixing us up by the end of the season.
Well, Rosalina, I'd like to think I have enough knowledge myself to know that myself and Boris would be a toxic combination. I'd spare myself and everyone else that result.
I just don't see why you don't see the good in each other. After all, I hold both of you in extremely high regard. Now, I'm not saying that you should get married, because that would be a little uncomfortable for me. But you really could do to visualize some of the better things about him. See what I see.
Yes, like his eye for male beauty.
Well, he did study art.
He did. He's a great fan of Michelangelo and Caravaggio and,
Yes, great qualities in men, I presume. People who are good studies of other men. That's all very enticing, really. Keep this
Listen,
going.
you know it's against the law to draw the female form. They didn't have any choice.
I don't know how we got on such a scandalous topic to begin with. Now, what I am here to discuss, Rosalina, is why have you not settled down with a husband yourself?
There's simply no man that is interesting enough for me. Maybe once they all come back from war and have an assortment of battle scars and have killed at least 3 people.
Cousin, that is scandalous to say.
I didn't know you had such bloodlust there, Rosalina.
They're just French, and I like somebody with an interesting story or two.
Oh, I'm sure all those poor young souls marching up to our wall have such interesting stories. I shot a man who nearly shot me. I went through days walking through mud. I had to sleep on the ground. That's all very fascinating. Adds a lot of character, I presume.
Sveta, you're so black-tongued.
Both of the men who have been writing me from the front have told me glorious stories. I can't wait to hear them in person and,
Both?
broke their medals and such.
Rosalina, are you leading on 2 separate suitors?
Not leading them on. They asked if they could write to me, and I said yes.
I will have you know that is highly inappropriate. What if someone heard?
Well, we all know that Count Vladimir is writing to everyone.
Well, not to me. I have not returned any of his letters.
Yes, but he is writing to you.
Unopened letters do not constitute a relationship.
I'll be sure to let him know that.
You're writing to him? He's one of your 2 suitors?
Of course I am.
He is a scoundrel.
He's a ridiculous parody of a man. Of course I'm writing to him. The things he says.
You will never recover your reputation if it's found out that you're talking to him.
Don't worry, I haven't said anything to him that's untoward. The things he's said to me, though, could bring down his entire house.
I think yeah, Vas is getting worked up. I think I kind of take her away from Rosalina. That's okay. I think yeah, it's very much a case of like, all right, Rosalina, I think you've said what you wanted to say, yes? I don't think you.
I think that might require a resolve token because Rosalina looks like she wants to sit and stay and.
Oh no, it's fine. They can leave. She'll find something scandalous to do.
I'll spend a resolve token for that. I want you to do something scandalous.
Sounds great.
All right. And
Okay,
you hear
please
that
sing
one
like-
back real fast.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Oh my god, you should sing like the bawdiest dance hall number that you can. Be like, yes, cousin, I'll sing for you.
I think she gets up and sings a song that is popular in the local brothels. And the best part about it is that she knows by all the people that blush who's been to those brothels.
So, and I just turned to Sveta and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but oh, just take me away. I can't stand to see her do this.
Yeah, I think no, I'll kind of gently guide you away to another room and kind of sit you down and maybe hand you another drink that I just swiped while we were heading off, as we could hear Rosalina's barbs just floating in from the other room. I kind of just sit you down and it's like, here, take, drink up now, Vas.
I don't usually drink during the daytime, but I think this calls for it.
Yeah, there seems like an occasion that calls for it. Look, don't, Vasya, don't let Rosalina get to you. You know what she's like. She cares about no one but herself.
She is a shame to our uncle, and I only think that she is my cousin and not my sister.
Well, then let her uncle and let all of Russia deal with her. You don't have to concern yourself with someone like her. You know, again, Vasya, you're taking on so much. There are some people you just need to like let go and not have to care about.
Like Boria, you're always telling me to let him make his own way. But then what? He goes and he becomes an academic, a bohemian.
Well, then, let's put Boris aside then, because clearly I'll never be able to make that case to you. Put Boris aside, and who knows, maybe this war would do something for him. After all,
If it doesn't
he
kill
could-
him, that's all I ask.
I'm sure there are people out there like Count Vasilev looking out for him.
Oh, the Count Vasilev, yes. Yes, because I have held him in such high regard either.
I think at that Sveta just kind of would laugh. It's like, I have to say, this turnaround is quite amusing. What happened there?
How can I ever forgive him for convincing Boria to go off to the front lines? He would never have gone. He would have taken, even if he had joined the military, he would have taken an office post. You know how he is. That would have been just as respectable, and it would have been perfectly fine, and he wouldn't have been in danger. But no, he had to follow up after Andrei to go and claim his honor, or to go along for the ride.
Well, I can't speak for Count Vasilev, I suppose. But if that's truly how you feel, then he better hope he'd bring Boris back alive for your
He
sake.
better hope, because if he is the only one to survive, I will kill him myself.
Oh God. I
The Tsar could not judge me.
when you say that, I think Sveta would take a drink and just kind of at that. Vasya, your blood's going up. Perhaps maybe you need to calm down a bit. You really need to start. I wouldn't say start thinking more frivolous manners, but definitely just relax for now. Would you do that?
I can't relax, but I do tell you, I have a plan, Sveta. I told you that my friend Dominika is coming. And the next time that Boria and Andrei are back in this country and we go to a ball, I'm going to have Dominika meet Boris.
Okay. Do you think this plan?
She has confided to me that she is looking for a husband. She wants to settle her own affairs. It is very hard for a strong-willed girl like her to make a connection. And her family does come from quite an illustrious line. The Prostakovs are important people. They could help prop up the Fedorovs.
Sveta's looking concerned, but in the back of her mind, she's like, oh my God, she's learned so much. I think she's kind of like, but have you prepared her for Boris, though?
She is well familiar from my stories from school. And
But
trust me, I think that Boris won't know what he's getting into, because Dominika is quite the person. I have the highest respect for her.
Well, all right. I've told you before that whatever it is you're planning, you have my full support in that, Vasya.
Because there's something I need to ask of you. And you know, normally I would not encourage this kind of behavior, but I know that Boris is a very contrary person whenever it comes to something of your opinion. So what I need you to do, my dear friend, is I need you to say how much you disapprove of Dominika. I need you to tell Boris that he would be a very poorly fit for her. And then that will motivate him to spite you.
Yes, I think, yeah. Wait, hold on. Kat, you're going to say something?
I was just going to remind Vasilisa that that's a resolve token.
I'm going to use my resolve token. And
Heck yeah.
The token is that you have to help me with my plot to get my brother married to my school friend.
I think Sveta takes like a cartoonish amount of time to think it over, and she's like, Vasya, this really feels not like you to plot like this, I suppose, but
Sveta, what am I to do? If Boris dies, first of all, I'll be practically an orphan. I'm already an orphan, but then I'll truly have no one. I mean, yes, I'll have you, but can you imagine? Can you imagine? I've already buried my parents, and I now run the risk of burying my brother. But at the very least, I can make it so that our family will continue.
yeah, I think at that, like, yeah, Sveta doesn't even like think it over. I think she just like puts down her glass and kind of like grasps your hands and like, well, let not be said that I will go back on my promise, and I promise you that you have my full support in whatever it is you plan to do, no matter the consequences. But if it's to help you and it's to help Boris grow up, then yes, I'll do so. I'll do as you say.
I just smile and I say, "Oh, thank you, Sveta." And I lean in and I kiss like you on like both cheeks, and I just like smile and I'm tearing up just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think yeah, no, Sveta's a bit like shocked about with that. I think this is the one character that can disarm her, I guess, and she's like, she kind of leans in to hug you a bit. It's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
And as we're hugging, and I just whisper to you, "Oh, and as soon as Boris is married, we can work on your marriage."
Son of a bitch.
Oh my god. So wait a minute, who is the conniving one again? I can't remember.
I'm doing this from the goodness of my heart.
Yes. So I'd like to flip back to the camp, and I want to have this. Theoretically, it's happening simultaneous, but since they're both my characters, I will have to do this slightly separate. But I'd love. Let me paint you the scene. It's the camp. It's the army camp. We know that the battle is going to come the next day, probably. So over with the hussars of Vladimir's regiment, they're all sitting around their cabin, inside and outside, and there's guys getting drunk and doing folk dances, and there's Austrian officers in their white uniforms and their plumed hats kind of watching bemused as the Russians live it up. So, and meanwhile, back over in the other part of camp, towards the headquarters, Nikolai has been been in the Council of War with everyone. But so first, I think Vladimir approaches Boris over at the Hussar camp. Good evening, Count. It's a good tradition to get a little drunk before a battle, provided you have enough time to sleep a little bit of it off. But I don't know. Some people find that having a little bit of drunkenness gives you an edge in the morning.
Smirnov. And I nod. I salute him.
Let me tell you, Count, you're a good man and a brave man.
That's never what you've said before.
If we are about to go into battle, we should only be brothers now.
I've never had a brother before.
Well, that's unfortunate. I have many brothers. Back in Georgia, we have a very large family. But, Count, two things of importance to me. The first, tomorrow, ride next to me, and I will do my utmost to make sure that you survive this battle.
I think there are others that deserve that place of honor next to you.
It is not so much a matter of honor, Count, as I know that you are not by nature a soldier. You are a philosophical man. And that is greatly to be admired, I think. This new Russia cannot be built merely on the back of Cossack horses and at the end of a gun. We must grow up so that we're not just run by Germans all the time.
Oh, my uncle would be very disappointed if that was the case.
Well, I am not so backwards as you might think, my dear Count. And I know my own limitations. I am but a hussar officer, but that does not mean I do not have an appreciation of what is good in life.
And what about life do you appreciate most, my dear brother?
Well, on that matter, as you and your sister are orphans, I come to you as a man of honor, and I tell you that should I be so fortunate and God give me the grace to survive this great conflict tomorrow, when I return home to Russia, I wish for the honor of asking your sister's hand in marriage. She is the most amazing woman I have ever met.
She is indeed one of the most incredible people I have ever had the pleasure to encounter, though we fight often and disagree frequently.
She is a woman of spirit, if I may say so.
She is a woman, well, I will certainly bring up your request with my uncle.
I appreciate that. I wish to do this the correct way as a man of honor must. And of course, your sister is free to choose. There is no understanding between us that would impede her in any future match that she may wish to make.
Oh, that would be quite a surprise to me if there had been an understanding between you.
I would not be so bold as to assert something that is not true. I understand that you're a good friend and she are very close, but to be frank, I do not know that Andrei would make a better husband than me.
Well, that is for others to discuss. This is a night to celebrate brotherhood, is it not?
It is, my brother, and I hope one day to make that more than just a title of convenience on a battlefield. If you are honestly going to bring this up to your uncle, then I will totally pay you a resolve token.
I am not going to bring this up to my uncle because I think I need to. I think I would like to see about excusing myself to go see my uncle.
Is your uncle in the army, or is he back in
I
Russia?
think almost everybody was here.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be everybody. I mean, if he's
Yeah.
old enough, he might. If he's old enough, he might not be in service. Nikolai got
Right.
called back because he was a general.
Right. No, I think I would like to. I think, yeah, I'm going to raise a glass to him and say, Smirnoff, a toast to you. Down it quickly without really waiting for him to return. And then exit to go find Andrei.
Cool. You may not find him because I think Andrei is over at the headquarters cab house, waiting, and Nikolai comes walking out of the Council of War, followed by a bunch of other generals and Austrian generals in their white uniforms and medals weighing down their chest, and he sort of comes striding out with his hands clasped behind his back and a serious look on his face in his black uniform, and he just motions to you to come over.
And Andrei, starts to attention and walks over.
Andrei Fedorovich, there's to be a battle tomorrow.
I thought as much, Uncle.
I have agreed to have you posted to the left wing in order to act as a courier. It can be a dangerous job, but we should so outnumber the French on that side that the fighting should be over quickly.
Well, you know that I will do whatever is required.
I know that you do not lack courage, my son, but we both know that you are not a soldierly man.
That is not untrue. And
Andrei?
I will do my best for my country.
Andrei, I have heard the plan that the Austrians have assembled. It is very precise. There are very long instructions in German of where each of our columns must go. The commander-in-chief slept through it because he is... The General Kutuzov is not necessarily the most brilliant man I've ever met, but he understands that in battle, these plans are often useless. This battle is not going to go well for us, Andrei.
Well, few battles go well for either side, as far as I know from my history. If God's willing, we'll see each other on the other side.
I wish that I could find a way to keep you safe.
Andrei steps forward and clasps his uncle's hand and says, if there was ever a surety of safety in this world, it passed when we were children.
Damn. That's dirty pool.
Yeah, he says, if we are going to a losing battle tomorrow, you should write the princess, and I should be on my way.
I have written to the princess, but I wish you to have these. And he gives you a letter and a cross that he wears around his neck. If I should fall in this battle, make sure that you give this to the princess.
Of course.
If there is any letter that you wish me to carry for you, I know that you are very fond of Vasilisa Ivanova.
I will bring it to you within the hour.
God bless you, Andrei. I've tried to never let your father's fate find you, but there's no escaping duty, I suppose.
No, there isn't.
Cool. So do we need to have any more scenes in this novel chapter, or are we going to leave things suspended?
Suspended.
Yeah, I kind of like we don't know what's going to happen here. Fantastic. Okay, reputation time. Do-do-do-do-do. Are you bad or good? Do-do-do-do-do. So that is on your family background sheet.
Oh, I definitely get a positive tag.
Let me see.
If I acted in service of duty or morality in a way that compromised my desires. think I'm going to put honorable. Now I have 3. Something happens when I get 3, right?
You get a condition. I think I'm going to get one too, because I am reasonably sure that Nikolai did the exact same thing as you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what that should be. It's something that needs to be beyond honorable. Like, Paragon, maybe. No, that's not quite it.
Yeah. I think Paragon, you're old enough that Paragon works.
Yeah, it's not quite specific enough for what I'm trying for.
Where do we put the reputation tags once we earn them?
In the little rep condition section, you can put the description in there.
Okay.
So how's everyone else doing?
So I want to run this by everybody. I feel like Vasya's actions acted in obedience to society's conventions, despite considerable hardship in doing so. I'm trying to get my brother married, so I feel like that's a good thing, and that would give me tough, but I'm open to alternate interpretations.
Yeah, I think hardy or something like that. She's holding up in the face of multiple sort of deeply painful truths.
I could go with hardy if people think that's... So I also take a level up or a reputation condition.
You're muted, Kat.
How about everybody else?
I'm not sure if I get any tags. I think in this novel, I've been mostly in the orbit of Vasya for this entire. I agreed to do something for her, but that's totally of my desire. So.
Yep, that's fair.
I mean, I went to war, which is a social convention and a risk, but I did so for my own reasons. So.
Yeah, but the considerable hardship part definitely fits in there.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I did get a Batman.
Yeah, and
but I gave up a lot of servants.
You are going to be shot at by a lot of French dudes tomorrow morning.
Yeah, going to war is not a picnic.
Getting shot at by French people is this Thursday.
Cool. And nobody has yet used any of their tokens. Actually, I feel like I owe. A token to Andrei, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the Nikolai wants his relatives in the army for political ambition, because that's why I volunteered you to be a messenger.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Good God. We're all just chess pieces in Andrei's game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start spending some of them.
Oh yeah, just think what you want, because chances are
I can have it.
You want you want to marry Vasya? You got some tokens. You can line this up.
Married.
You said for love.
That's true. That's true.
Resolve
Can I spend a token to make her love me?
Probably not, but you could certainly spend a token to have everybody else tell her that she should love her.
It's true.
So I took as my reputation condition the wisdom of elders. My advice holds particular weight, and connections will attempt to seek it out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm cool.
I took tremendous catch. You've proven yourself a tremendous catch. Every appropriate connection would wish to be your suitor.
I took head of the household. I'm considered by society to speak for my family. Anyone wishing to deal with my family or arrange a marriage comes to me first.
Nice.
Even if they want to marry you?
Especially if they want to marry me.
Seems that Uncle Victor's going to have a few where he's going to be told where to go.
He's not doing his job.
Uncle Valentin, rather, I should say. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. And what about you, Richard?
We just did mine.
Oh, right.
And I took tag loyal.
You took what?
I took loyal as a positive reputation tag.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems about right. All right, now everybody's favorite rumor and scandal. Well, we start with Serafina. So you can either create a new rumor, or you can spread an existing one.
I mean, obviously, Nikolai has a mistress.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So yeah, I'll spread that. That's fine. Let's go to Leandro.
Remind me again, what specifically did the... Oh, wait, actually, no. Rumor is for players, not for characters to spread.
Yep.
Yeah. So, let's see. Let's look at everyone's... What the hell have they been doing? I think I'm going to spread that Rosalina is an illegitimate child. At least so we can use that.
I mean, she keeps singing songs that prostitutes wrote, so like...
Yeah, there's only so much you can tease people.
Yep.
And Daryl?
The rumor is that Boris is a victim of the desire that dares not speak its name.
Oh, damn. All right.
And Richard, you get the double stuff, so you go twice.
Oh, the rumor is that Vladimir has the French disease, and I'm going to double up and just spread that rumor.
I'm the only one that likes that guy, right?
Mhm.
I think he's actually a lot of fun. I love like the jerk jock characters, which is basically what he is.
Yeah.
So
I'm really glad. I really
appreciate
love seeing him.
Yeah, it's more into him.
Cool. So Daryl, you can spread, or you can create a new one.
The rumor is Andrei has been seen in the company of women of ill repute on more than one occasion.
Cool.
I'm going to spread that rumor.
Rude.
Whew. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever made one. Oh. I got one. Cool. Prince Victor was relieved from command for drunkenness and cowardice.
All right.
And Serafina.
What do I think? I think that Um, I'm going to spread the rumor that something about Sveta.
Well, Victor is Sveta's father, so.
Yeah. Sveta. Sveta's a lovely person. No, I think Sveta has a secret French fiance. You're muted again.
You try and practice good, chat hygiene. Has everybody got their stuff in on the sheet? Because I'm not sure that I see the edits for everybody.
No, I haven't typed mine.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, and this one, the LN one is going to fade. It never got spread. So the next rumor and scandal, if it's faded, it will go away. Cool. Okay, so we finished rumor and scandal. It's time for 19th century Russia. We write letters. We write letters. We put down in writing what's going on in our heads. So cool. Anyone got a letter?
Yeah, I for sure have a letter. My dearest Vasilisa, I know that up until this point I have adhered to your wishes and given you only updates regarding Boris and his safety. But in this letter, I would like to speak of something more important to me. We go to war tomorrow, and I am not sure if I will survive. My uncle has given me the sort of position that one would dream of if one hoped for honor and glory, but the only glory that I have ever hoped for is glory and love. And I hope that, should I survive, you would permit me to call on you when we get home, and that you would hold me in your heart with something more than contempt. For truly, I speak to you from the bottom of my soul. I have never felt about another person the way that I feel for you, and I hope that I see you in due time and in good health when all of this is over. Yours faithfully, Count Andrei Fedorovich Vasilev.
Oh my god. Cool.
I have a letter. And my second letter, I'm going to say just right now, is going to be to Andrei. And it will definitely be like an after the battle kind of letter. But right now, my letter goes, first and foremost, to my dearest Borya. I have heard unsettling rumors as of late as to the conduct that you have been pursuing in the soldiers' camps. I must say that though the rumors have scandalized and shocked me, a part of me was not surprised. I know that you have always pursued an academic lifestyle, which I have always viewed as a simple placeholder for a more bohemian lifestyle. I know that you have always entertained the more outlandish behaviors that do not befit a person of our station. And I want you to know that though I love you dearly, it is imperative that you keep your indiscretions under more tight a wrap. The Fedorov name cannot be besmirched by such behaviors. The Fedorov name cannot find itself with dirt flung upon it from those who we sit next to in church. I would not presume to tell you what to do with your personal life, but I will presume to tell you, as your sister and as your elder and as the head of the Fedorov family, that you will respect all of the work that I and your Uncle Valentin have put in to making sure that we continue to hold the position that we do. I know that you do not care for our social graces and for our esteem in the community, but I hope that you care for us, and I hope that you know that your actions reflect poorly upon us, and I hope that you know that you endanger your family, your sister, your uncle, your cousin, with every step that you take beyond the pale of what society expects. I do not write this as a condemnation of you as a person, because, Gloria, I love you beyond reason. But I implore you, please think first and foremost about your family. You are not only of you, you are of us as well. Please, as always, be safe. I wish this letter held more kindness, but always know that I pray for you on the hour, every hour, and I want only for your safe return. Your dearest sister, Vasya.
I think I'd like to spend a resolve token to compel Rosalina to write a letter to Sveta about that kid she doesn't have or does.
I think I'm down. Yeah, okay, so my dearest Sveta, I write to you in a moment of absolute desperation. I'm sure that you have heard that the rumor has spread regarding my illegitimate child. I say with great shame that it is true. You remember I spent a year abroad in Italy. Well, during that time, I gave birth. She has been living in seclusion on the other side of town with a distant cousin of mine, who, having 2 children of her own, sees no difficulty in adding a third. But you must help me to put these rumors to rest, for if I'm ever to make a hope, hope of making a good match, I must make sure that no one ever finds out about my child and about the indiscretion which led me to this place. I also hope that you will not hate the baby's father. Vladimir is not as terrible a man as one would think. We were both very young when all of this took place, and he is not the sort of person who would not have married me at the slightest inclination, but I did not want to hold him back. Please, I beg your help, as the head of the family, and as my dearest friend, yours faithfully, Rosalina.
So I want to spend a token to find out who Vladimir writes to at the eve before the battle.
Yes.
The Count will gladly take that token. I think he's left a letter to Vasya with his Batman in case he falls. I think he writes, believe it or not, to Sveta. Dear Princess Mozorova, we have not had a chance to speak much, and yet, as I think back on my time in Moscow, you are without a doubt the most charming person there. I do not understand why your family is held in such disregard when they have such a vivacious and charming young woman. It would be my honor to call upon you, should God grant that I survive this battle. He's just covering his bases. He is. He's a dog. He writes to all the girls. He's popular. So who else has letters?
Boris would like to write to his sister. But I don't think he's received your letter yet. I think it's addressed to my dearest Countess, which he's never called you. And it says, I'm disheartened to learn that you are of the opinion that I do not make my own decisions. Andrei is a dear friend and never once asked me to accompany him. If you must hate someone because of the fact I'm here, you should address that displeasure to our Uncle Valentine, who would be happy with no other outcome. Because we are about to go into battle. I'm enclosing with this letter a small book that Mother gave me. I trust that when I return home, I'll be able to retrieve it from you. Until then, please do keep it safe. I do not want any French person to touch it. Until I see you again. Vasilisa Ivanovna, please be safe. And please remember that no matter what I've said about her in the past, Sveta is your wisest and best friend.
Damn! I would like to reveal the contents of the letter Nikolai wrote to Andrei in case he should die. My most darling Andruska, know that you have ever been like a son to me, and you should be assured that you will be provided for well, as befits a son, in the affairs of my estate. Should I fall in this great battle, I ask you to do two things for me. First, deliver this sealed note to the Princess Kuzanova, and second, that you take care of her with all the honor that she deserves, for she has long been close to my heart. I regret only that I could not have been a better father to you, my dearest son. Yours most affectionately, Prince Nikolai.
I just love him so much.
I think I have a letter to Vasya from her uncle, Count Valentine. I think the address is very formal. To Countess Vasilisa Ivanova Fedorova. I commend you for finally taking into your own hands the affairs of your house. I do not need to rehash my opinion on the one who would have taken that before you, as he is at our camp right now. No, wait. Did we decide that he was there? Or no, actually, I don't think we decided that. I don't think, was Count Valentine there at the camp, or no?
I don't think we said one way or the other.
Okay, all right. So I think, no, I think what, all right. Okay, it could be one or the other. He's probably not there then. I think he's saying like, but no doubt you've heard that my dear Ivan's son has been up to his frivolities as always. I've always been the belief that a good stint in the army would do him right, but frankly, this is not an army. This is a shambles. The Austrians have done us a disservice, and he very well may not survive. But if he does, since you have taken the reins of the house, then I must write to you that if he does, I intend to make sure that he does not while his time away in the academy once more, but he remains with us here as a proud soldier of the Russian army. He has not yet spent enough time for any of his frivolities to be trained out of him. If Providence allows it that he survives, then rest assured that he will remain there and learn of duty, of honor, and of patriotism. I'm sure you very much agree and take his best interests at heart. Otherwise, then I fear that he will be lost to us. Best wishes, etc., etc. Count Valentin Vedov.
Oh man, it's one messed up family. Daryl, do you have a letter for us?
I do. I have one more letter.
Yee.
Dear Andrushka, I have heard horrible stories about the battle. I have seen so many people cry over the people that they have lost. Brothers, fathers, husbands, fiancés. I do not know if this letter will find you. I hope it does. I have not heard from my uncle, nor my brother, in weeks. I have not heard from you in weeks. I do not know what fate has befallen all of the people I care about. Did I push my brother too hard? Did my uncle die for some pointless war? Are you perhaps in the land of the dead now? I don't know. Please, if this letter finds its way to you, if it somehow reaches you, if it does not go astray, come back to me. I pray to God. Your Vasya.
That's beautiful, man.
Oh man, my heart.
That actually reminded me of something I was going to bring up pre-game, but nice thing about doing this genre is it's not quite romantic comedy. So there's if folks want to get married and then we have the story of whether their marriage is happy or sad, that is a thing we can totally do in the middle of the story rather than needing it to wait to the end. So not that we have to do that, I would remind people so you don't have to necessarily play to the tension of will they or won't they. I mean, you can, because War and Peace is 1,200 pages before the real couple gets together, but there's a lot of stuff in between. Cool. So we're gonna get another novel phase. I think if we sprint a little, we can get pretty close to finishing this cycle, which would be awesome. I see no reason not to do the freaking Battle of Austerlitz if people want to, with little vignettes of the battle. It's going to be confusing and horrible and awful. Oh yeah, do we need to take a break? Okay, why don't we take a short break and get back as soon as we can, and hopefully we can wrap this all up tonight. So great. I'll see you in a sec.
So good. I love the epistolary phase.
Yes.
I never want it to stop. What if it was just all letters?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There are in fact games like that.
What was it? I heard about Dear Elizabeth on a podcast, which was literally basically just this game, but with only letter writing. Like it's meant to be played as like a 2-up, and you literally write letters back and forth.
I love that.
There's another one like that. It's like it's two generals during a war. They did that on She's a Super Geek once. Wow. So Battle of Austerlitz. Awesome. Cool. So how we want to do this? We could toss out ideas like Grand Hussar Charge. Masses of French troops appear suddenly. Cannonades. There's all sorts of stuff. But if you like, I definitely have a resolve token here that I'm more than happy to spend because I have plans for you, Andrushka.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't have a lot of good ideas for the battle scenes, so I'm open to what you might suggest.
Cool. I mean, we can also do stuff after, or there's things we can
just immediate aftermath.
Yeah, I think immediate aftermath might be better because then we can, when we're doing like epistolary after, it'll just be like, oh, and then this is.
Yep. So I'll paint a scene. We have the quick montage of the battle scenes, but the main section is everybody. There's charging, and the French are being pushed back, and then the sun breaks through the clouds, and everyone looks up and sees masses of French troops headed their way, which is basically what happened. Napoleon talked about the son of Austerlitz for the rest of his life. So my resolve token I want to spend is that Andrushka, while a courier on the Allied left wing, gets shot or wounded.
So down.
So
down.
And in fact, what I would like to do, since you had the bad luck to name yourself after the appropriate character in War and Peace, I'm going to spend my monologue token to hear your thoughts as you lie on your back staring up into the cloudy blue sky on the field of Austerlitz.
It's so great. The battle's still going on, or is it me laying there after everything has ended?
It could be immediately after, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's... So when did the battle end? Is it like twilight and I'm like laying there watching the sunset?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That could definitely happen.
Great. So I'm laying there listening to the moans of, broken horses and dying men. And where was I shot? Doesn't matter. It's all terrible. Yeah, so I'm laying amidst all of this. I think actually I was shot in the shoulder, so it's not immobilizing, but I'm pinned under like busted artillery or a horse or something terrible. And as I'm laying there, all I can think is that of all the things that I saw at the last minute before I went down. So I saw Boris fighting alongside me, pulled away by like a horde of French soldiers. We were separated. At the moment that I was shot, I lost track of him. I think that when I saw my uncle last, he was valiantly defending our artillery. That was hard to say. Along with several other men. And I honestly, as the cold gets more intense and I realize how much I have bled and how crushing the weight on top of me is, I think I am not going to make it out of here alive. And I am praying that Boris made it to safety and that I will one day see Vasilisa's face again.
That's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out what happened to Boris now.
Very good question. I think at some point Boris comes to, or kind of realizes he's still breathing, and pulls himself out from under a blown away bit of building and some wagon. And he sees and starts seeing at the body of, I mean, not the dead body, but the form of Vladimir, whom he loathes. Should I spend a resolve for that?
Is he dead?
No.
Yeah, spin that resolve on. Bring it on.
All right.
Poor Vlad.
And is he awake? I think that's a question.
I think he is. Is he badly wounded?
No, I think he's just sort of himself just sort of coming to out of a daze, or otherwise otherwise sort of like moving towards away from the battlefield slowly.
I think he comes to and he looks and sees his horses rolling around next to him with an obviously broken leg and tears in his eyes. He has to pull his pistol and put the horse down. And then he comes staggering towards you and says, Count, are you all right?
Yes, I am fine, Smirnov.
You do not look fine.
Are you all right?
I believe I have broken my left arm, but other than that, I seem all right.
What happened?
The French.
I know it was the French.
I'm pretty sure it was the 15th Regiment of Cuirassiers.
And yet, all our planning.
That will teach you to trust a German plan.
Hmm. And what now?
What now is I think
Smirnov.
we must make our way to a field station before we get captured by the French. I, for one, have no desire to find out if the hospitality of a French military prison.
Very wise.
I'm a veteran. Wisdom doesn't come into it.
I'll follow you.
I think, yeah, he staggers back until he can find a couple horses that he just commandeers from some poor troopers. Oh dear, this is also terrible. So let's see. Cool. I think the next scene is that we see the prince being carried back to the to the surgery tent, and they're pulling shrapnel out of his right leg because he stayed too long and got hit by counter battery fire. And all he's doing is crying out, "Where is Andrei? Where is Andrushka? Where is my Andrushka? Where is Andrei?" He's like half delirious. And actually, who could he grab? No, that does. Yeah. So he's like screaming for his orderly to go back out and look again.
I'm trying to decide who I want to find Andrei and bring him back.
In War and Peace, it was Napoleon.
I'm so down.
You
Straight
might
up Napoleon.
Great. So, sure.
I am going to be the most famous Russian.
You're lying on your back, and a party of French officers ride up, and one of them leans to us. Voilà un brave mort.
What's that in English? I know I speak French, but my player doesn't.
Look at that brave dead. Look at that brave death.
And I lift up my head and say, "I'm not dead, but I can see the gate from here."
Take this man to my personal surgeon. He's too brave to allow to die this way. And Bettier, make a note of this in the record. We shall put it in a note to His Sovereign Majesty Alexander when he comes to treat with us.
Sweet. So am I a POW?
Yeah, you'll probably be exchanged fairly quickly and sent home once you're put back together.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Feels like a short novel chapter, but it feels appropriate, I think.
Yeah. Do we need to see the ladies?
We could. They could be getting letters now. Or the scene where they're all gathered around reading the newspaper dispatches, looking through the lists of the names of the dead.
Yo, that's some dark shit.
Yep.
I'm so down.
Can I suggest an alternative, actually?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I really want like an after the funeral scene, like somebody's like mourning or something like that. Like maybe we're comforting someone who has lost someone.
Yeah.
So maybe you know what? Is it okay to just kind of like make up like a random person who maybe won't appear again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess our friend like Nikita Naratilovska or something like that, Naratilova, has has found out that her fiance has died, and we are in her sitting room, and we are ostensibly there to comfort her, but she has retired to her chambers, and now it is those of us who have not yet lost someone.
Yeah, you know who's definitely there? Is Helene Nikolaevna Akramova. We're gonna meet her finally.
So that is Daryl's connection. You know what? I can play.
Oh no, sorry. It's Yekaterina. I wanted it to be.
Oh, the princess.
Yeah,
Yes.
the princess, the mistress. I just read the wrong name.
So that would be you.
Yekaterina.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to be the flighty cousin for this one.
Maria would, I think, also be there.
I think Maria would be probably there with Sveta, so that makes sense.
I assume Maria Maria married. That's how she got away from our family. Assume, yeah, she doesn't know about her husband as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or did Maria marry a much older man, something like that?
Ooh, maybe she did actually. Yeah. So
Yeah,
she's probably she's probably the one here who is like, that's all fine.
Her husband's fine.
Yeah, and I think Princess Yekaterina is dressed in like the finest mourning clothes money could possibly buy. And she comes walking back in, having walked Nikita upstairs to her room, and like bustles over to the tea service and pours herself a cup, and then settles down and says, "Oh, the young do not take grief well."
And I kind of look at her and I say, Princessa, does age make grief easier?
You know, like needlepoint, my dear, grief is a skill that one learns with time.
I hope never to be skilled at grief.
You will be if you live old enough to watch anyone die. Which, if you are lucky, you will be. Why, look at me. I have no parents, no siblings. Most of the friends that I have known from my younger years have either died or moved away. There's a different sort of grief when someone is present, but not present, if you get my meaning.
Doesn't sound lucky to have lived that long, if you don't mind me saying.
But my darling, I get to be so wise.
I feel we will all be very unlucky in the coming days. I hope that, selfishly, I am less unlucky than others. Or Nikita.
She like reaches over and grabs one of your hands, like the one that's sitting on your lap, and says, "I pray you will be. You are all too young to bear such things."
Vasilisa Ivanova, are you engaged? I had not heard.
I have no such claims to any one hand, but I shall admit that I have. Of course, you know, my brother Borya is unaccounted for, but our dear friend Andrei Fyodorovich is also unaccounted for, and I worry so for everyone.
Certainly those young men were not made for battle.
Least of all my brother.
No. That's the army.
Neither is Andrei, from what I've heard.
It is not kind to speak ill of men who are on the front lines, my dear.
Sveta?
Pettiness does not become a lady.
For once, I don't think Sveta was being petty, my lady. I think that she was merely speaking the truth. Our dear Andrei is a delicate soul.
We are all delicate souls, my dear.
Some more delicate than others.
You are not
Yes.
wrong. I sometimes think that we send men off to war, and they are the more delicates of all of us.
Yes, delicate and fragile, unlike my beloved Sveta. Tough as nails. And then, like so many soldiers, completely immune to the charms of men in male company.
Dearest Maria, if you want to dredge up such matters in a time of mourning, in a time like this, please, would you be so kind to leave it for later, not right.
Only us girls here, and
Lady
certainly
Sokolova, this is a house of mourning.
All of us here, and I think Sveta stands up, looks at you, Maria, and says that, yes, we are all women in mourning. We have all have loved ones out in the front line. Save for yourself, Maria Petrovna. I very much doubt you care for your uncle, my father, who's out there advising the Tsar to his best capabilities. I do not very much believe that you have much in common with the rest of us here. If you've come to dredge up tawdry matters between yourself and my family, then I will be glad to oblige you any other time. Otherwise, speak not of matters you don't care about. Just sit there and mourn.
My goodness, I don't spend enough time with the young. You are all so energetic. Someone get an old woman some more tea.
I will gladly.
It is good that she makes herself useful in some manner.
Well,
Gotta sit down and
useful.
I do worry. I do worry about not just Boria, not just Andrei. I worry about all of them. What will our men come back like? How will they be scarred? And how will that fall upon us to take care of them?
Ah, that's the thing to wonder about. I've seen enough men come back from war in my time to know that women are the ones that bear the brunt, even though men are the ones that draw the battle lines.
I think well enough that that is true, Princess. I think that we will have quite the battle on our hands, no matter who wins.
Then might I suggest to all of you that rather than sniping and snipping at each other, you lean on one another, learn how to do well by each other, and take care of those who return to us less than what they were before they left.
have you had many like those that you can lean upon, Princess?
That is indiscreet, Sveta.
I feel like discretion has been lost in this conversation.
I have many servants and few friends, and many young girls who sit at my feet and wish to learn the ways of the world from someone who knows better than they do. So I dare say I will be well taken care of.
Is there still no one that you will miss, though? No one who will come home to you broken?
My general has been off to war many times. And hopefully he returns yet again. And perhaps he will
And
not.
if you don't-
I am practiced in the art of grief.
I pray to our Lord that you will receive him back whole and complete, and not much the worse for wear.
My darling girl. You are so sweet. I will do the things that I am best at. I will wait, and I will grieve if I must, but I will not grieve prematurely, for that does no one any good.
There's so much grieving already, and I fear that there will be more to come. Russia shall be full of grief before we know it.
It's still waiting. Yeah, I think that she kind of whispers that to herself. I don't think she has much to say. She's thinking too much.
And I reach over and I like put my hand upon yours and I'm like, I know what you mean, Sveta. Every day my letters go unanswered and I don't even know if they're delivered. I don't know if they've found the eyes that are meant for them.
Well, we have no choice but to wait, don't we? But, and her hand's kind of on yours. But once the waiting's over, whatever comes will come, and we'll face that together.
Wow. And I like the idea of pulling back out into the gloom of a Russian winter evening. Wow. Cool. Shall we do reputation phase? If you guys wouldn't mind staying a little over, we could finish the epistolary.
I don't mind staying late, but I know I'm down.
Works for me.
Okay. We'll try and march through this. I think, sadly, I went up again because I got shot in the service of the Tsar.
Yep.
So I'm just going to put heroic down.
I mean, I got shot in the service of the Tsar too, so yeah. Son of a bitch.
You're too good. You're too good for words, Andrei.
I
And
am.
you have every resolve token in the world.
I know, I'm just going to have to start making people do things now.
Yeah, once you're back from the war, it's just...
Everyone's going to be dancing to my tune.
I feel like everybody pretty much like did like they sacrificed themselves or like something that they hold dear to like honor the war, the sacrifices that are being made. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody did. Because war is hell.
Yeah.
That means, Richard, it looks like you're going to pick up a positive condition.
Yeah, I was also looking to see if I pick up a negative.
Yeah.
So I just don't remember. It's more of a, I just don't remember.
I'm trying to figure out.
He's not acted on any desires on camera or even just off camera yet.
Fair.
And he's not, people are too busy shaming and embarrassing his family name.
He hasn't gotten a chance to do it himself yet.
I know, it's the worst.
Rude. Don't they know that you're trying really hard?
So utter failure as a hedonist.
You're trying to be a scoundrel, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, last novel chapter when you basically kind of gave your word but kind of didn't to Vladimir.
What word did I give him?
Well, he wanted to know if it was okay if he could propose to Vasilisa, and you didn't say no. I know you didn't say yes, but you didn't say no.
Right.
You said that you would bring it up with your uncle with no intention of doing so. So
that's true.
You unprincipled cat.
But that didn't, potentially act on a desire in a way that compromised my duty.
to be honest though, I also it's very much my headcanon that like Boris and Andrei totally shared an evening after they left home that night.
It's my headcanon also.
Right.
So
Cover that in the letter. I'm gonna retcon that shit.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
So yeah, you can definitely pick up. And the thing about reputation is it doesn't matter if it was necessarily not seen by anybody else.
Okay.
Word gets around. They can just see it in your eyes. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna let you guys think about that, and we can step through to the epistolary chapter. And since I'm running the show, I'll just lead off.
Right.
Yeah. Uh, December 25th, 1805, from Warsaw to Her Highness Princess Yekaterina Mikhailovna Kuznetsova. My dearest Katish, I am writing to you from our new camp in Warsaw, or I should say, my camp in Warsaw. I regret to inform you that I was rather seriously wounded during the recent battle. However, the doctors tell me that they have removed all the metal from my leg, and that with God's grace I shall one day walk again. And yet, Katish, I find myself unwilling to face certain facts and truths about myself that in this latest battle have been revealed to me. To see our noble Russian Orthodox forces so grievously slaughtered on the battlefield. My own dear Andrushka was among the wounded. We have heard rumors that he was taken a prisoner by the French, but I have as of yet heard nothing from the Exchange Commission. As you know, I have always intended to give him a son's portion of our inheritance. And now, Katish, as I tell you this, that I have resigned my commission, and I have informed the Emperor that I am no longer in any condition to serve him in any fashion whatsoever. And as I hope nothing more than to return to Petersburg and to see you once again, my thoughts turn to the enormous dishonor that I have done you all our life, and my thoughts turn, Katish, to our child, to that expression of our love which we dishonored in our inability to make holy before God. Katish, I wish to give our child not only a portion of my inheritance, but a portion of my name. I shall speak of this more when I return to Petersburg. This is a sorrowful day on our Savior's birth, but I trust that with God's aid, I shall live long enough to see you and finally put our affairs into order. I remain ever lovingly and faithfully your most darling Coco.
This is the best letter ever.
Thank you.
Love it so much. Also, you got a kid. Damn.
Oh, have you guessed who my potential new character is going to be?
I have a couple of thoughts.
Yeah.
I
I have deliberately left the gender of the child in the air until we can figure that out.
I definitely have a letter. From Andrei to Vasilisa. My dearest Vasilisa, I have received no correspondence from you in many months, as I have been captive of the French during that time. It turns out, much to my surprise, that Napoleon is a lovely chap. An excellent conversationalist with a good taste for wine. I am well, and he assures me that I will be ransomed in the course of events as soon as possible. I was injured during the fighting, but with the help of very diligent French surgeons, I'm back almost to my good health. I hope that you are well and that you have heard from Boris. Unfortunately, you will likely not be able to write me back, as I am not entirely certain that I will be in the same place when you write again. I wanted, first and foremost, to make sure that you knew that I was alive. If you have had contact with Borya, please let him know also. I remain yours ever faithfully, Andrei.
I have a letter, if it's all right, from Victor Alexandrovich to his daughter. My dearest daughter and princess, our poor luck, it continues. As you know by now, everything collapsed, and all of the plans have come undone. I had hoped, with the return of so many wealthy young men from the front line, or so many newly wealthy young men, ennobled and enriched by French gold, to make a match for you that would benefit everyone. But if I believed in a deity, I would say we have been abandoned. My dear, while I recoup and get ready for my return, our entire family fortune rests upon your lovely shoulders. You have made many connections and you have made them wisely. Please, my dear, please exploit them for all of our good. And we shall find a way to come out of this ahead. I am ever yours, loving father. Signs off full name.
Oh, I love my dear papa. He's a terrible, terrible person.
I want to spend a token to find out if Sveta writes back to Vladimir.
Man, and you know I'm starving for tokens.
Yes. And
remind me to give.
King.
Yeah, there we go. Now that the war is over, the peace can begin. Remind me the gist of what Vladimir.
He just expressed an interest in calling on you since he's covering all his bases in case he can't marry Vasya.
Oh God! And this after getting a letter from her dad saying, "Yeah, you're gonna pair you up with someone."
Yep.
Soon, hopefully. I think. Hold on. Let me look at my remembering scandals. Yeah, I'll definitely write back. I think it was probably like it's a very like once she got that letter from her father and she kind of remembered, oh yeah, I've got a letter from Vladimir. I should cover my bases, and just wrote a quick note back saying to Lieutenant Count Vladimir Smirnov, I hope this letter finds you in good health. And I hope that you have survived the fracas at Austerlitz with much of yourself intact. I'm flattered by your interest, but I do believe that I am merely in a long line of those flattered by your interest. And I would not want to think myself considered to be the next choice down the line. I do believe that you will have to try harder. And I commend you on your efforts to do so. But my dear Count, actually no, strike that. I think I'll end it. I'll end it there. Just you have to try to do so. Yours, Princess Svetlana Morozov.
Cool.
So Vasya is writing a letter to, I'll just start off, to the Princesa Yekaterina Mikhailovna Kuznetsova. My dear princess, I did not know who else to share this information with. I do not want to appear weak of resolve to those who are closer to me, but I feel that your advice and your guidance when we last met informed me that you might be the ideal person to share this grief, this joy, this confusion with. Andrei is alive. I have received a letter that he is being held captive by Napoleon and his forces. And I don't know how this makes me feel. I am so relieved, first and foremost, because a part of me hopes that if Andrei can be alive, then so can Boris. I hope that Boris is okay. But I cannot also ignore the fact that Andrei being alive also fills me with joy. He was such an obnoxious man when we first met. And I felt that he was tempting my brother to ways and means that he probably shouldn't. But I cannot help but feel so blessedly happy that he is alive. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to feel. It does not align with the way I've lived my life in these years, since my parents died and since my brother became my responsibility, and with the kind of man that I should be with. It does not align with anything. Oh, princess, I plead your advice. I plead your guidance. You who said that the time that you have spent has given you so much wisdom, has given you so much knowledge, has given you so much insight. I plead that you share it with me. I don't know what to do. I am still at a crossroads where I do not know the fate of my brother. I am still at a crossroads where I do not know the fate of my family's name. And yet, a part of me is wild, and a part of me cannot be contained. The joy that I feel to discover this. I am ashamed almost. I want to go to the priest, but I will not. I do not want to hear what he has to say. Please, princess, if you see fit, share a few moments of your time with me and give me your guidance. Yours ever, Countess Vasilisa Ivanova Fedorova.
That was great. Katerina is going to write a letter. I can't decide if it's going to be a letter to you describing what she said to her boyfriend or the other way around. I think it's going to be a letter to Nikolai. What should her nickname for Nikolai be? It's Coco, right?
Yeah, Coco is it's sort of a Frenchified nickname for Nicholas.
Darling Coco, I cannot begin to describe to you the joy that I feel in knowing that you are all right. I feel quite as though I am 12 again. Remember when we first met in the gardens behind the palace? You were so young, and we were both so full of love for each other. I have been giving the girls here lessons in how to deal with grief in the anticipation that I would have to deal with my own. We both lost so much. And I fear that now, even knowing that you are alive, I will yet lose you. I, of course, accept your proposal that we bring things before the eyes of God, and I bring to you good news in case you haven't heard it yourself. Andrei is alive and in the custody of Napoleon. Hopefully he will be returned to us soon, but I understand that he is being treated well. The children here don't know how to cope with the interminable waiting between letters and between knowing the things that are true We all live in the parentheses between not knowing. I hope that I will see you as soon as possible, and that we will at least have some time together as husband and wife, the thing that we have long dreamt of but never thought that we would share together. I love you deeply and with all my heart and soul. Yours, always and forever, now and to the end of time. Katish.
Okay. I think I love you a little bit right now, Seraphine.
I do okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I don't play enough older women. I feel like
Yeah. Damn. I feel this horrible desire to finish to do the stupid inner conflict thing because we all remember stuff, but I think I've kept you late enough, so we'll just do that first thing next time, and I will cut film so that you can go back and take a look at it. So cool. My guys, oh my god. I love you all so much. This is so good. Thank you.
good.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna go drop this thing in the other room, and we'll maybe talk a little bit. And thank you guys so much. And I'll see you next week. And all I can say is this is not lasting long enough. We need more.
We need more. We need so much more.
All right.
War and
Take
Peace
care,
is really long, you guys. I'm just saying.
Fair. So, do свидания, everyone.
До свидания.